10 Motown legends Berry Gordy almost lost, 3 left for bigger hit. Berry Gordy signed to Legends, but 3 of them walked out, joined rival labels, and became bigger than Motown ever let them be. One got the Grammy Motown never gave her. One sued Berry in court and won. And one recorded the signature song Berry said she'd never have. You know all 3. You probably sided with them when they left. And by the end of this, you'll see why they were right. Number 10, The Supremes, the 6th single Gamble. The Supremes, 5 consecutive #1 pop hits in 1964 and 65, 3rd best-selling American girl group of all time. You know every word to Stop in the Name of Love. But in early 1963, Berry Gordy was done with them. 6 singles, 6 failures. I Want a Guy went nowhere. Buttered Popcorn flopped. Your Heart Belongs to Me barely scraped the bottom of the Hot 100. 3 years after signing them, nothing was working. The girls were getting discouraged. Florence Ballard was already drinking. Mary Wilson was wondering if they should quit. Berry Gordy had a choice: drop them or take one more shot with different producers. And if you've ever been given one last chance after failing 6 times, you know that pressure. He handed them to Holland-Dozier-Holland in late 1963. The hottest production team at Motown. When the love light starts shining through his eyes, hit number 23 pop in November. Not a smash, but finally real traction. Then came Where Did Our Love Go in June 1964. #1 pop. 2 weeks at the top, over 1 million copies sold. Then Baby Love, #1. Then Come See About Me, #1. Stop! In the Name of Love, #1. Back in My Arms Again, #1. 5 straight chart toppers in less than a year. Berry Gordy almost dropped the biggest selling act he ever had. After 6 failures, he had 1 foot out the door. The only thing that saved them was one more shot with the right producers. Here's what that teaches you. Sometimes the artist isn't the problem. Sometimes it's who's producing them. Diana Ross had the voice the whole time. She just needed someone who knew how to capture it. And if you've ever felt like you were failing when really you just hadn't found the right collaborator yet, you know exactly what the Supremes went through. Number 9, Jackson 5. We Already Have Stevie Wonder. 5 brothers from Gary, Indiana auditioned for Motown. Michael Jackson is 10 years old, and Berry Gordy says no. Not interested. We already have Stevie Wonder. We don't need another young act. Bobby Taylor had been touring with the Jackson 5. He'd seen what they could do. Michael didn't just perform. He commanded stages like he'd been doing it for 20 years. Bobby kept pushing Gordy. You need to see them yourself. Gordy finally watched them perform live. And what changed his mind wasn't just Michael. It was all 5 of them. The harmonies, the choreography, the way they worked together. Joe Jackson had been drilling them for years. Gordy signed them in March 1969, but even then, he wasn't sure. Did Motown really need a kiddie group? I Want You Back came out in October 1969. Hit number 1 in January 1970. Sold over 2 million copies. Then ABC hit number 1 in April. The Love You Save in June. I'll Be There in October. 4 consecutive number 1 hits. The Jackson 5 became the first group ever to have their first 4 singles all reach number 1. And if you were anywhere near a radio in 1970, you couldn't escape them. Your kids were doing Jackson 5 dance moves in the living room. You were hearing them on every station. Berry Gordy almost said no because he thought one child prodigy was enough. Michael Jackson became the biggest solo artist in history. Bigger than Stevie, bigger than anyone Motown ever had. Sometimes the second miracle is bigger than the first. You just have to be willing to see it. And if you've ever been told we already have someone like you, then watched yourself become irreplaceable, you understand this story. Real talk, only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 8, Marvin Gaye, Rejected twice. Norman Whitfield walks into Berry Gordy's Friday quality control meeting with I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Marvin Gaye just recorded it. Grapevine, Rejected. Over 3 minutes long. Dark groove, almost menacing. Not typical Motown. Berry says no, not commercial. Too slow, won't get airplay. Whitfield had already tried this song with the Isley Brothers, the Miracles. Nobody wanted it, but he believed in it. So Gordy gave it to Gladys Knight and the Pips instead. Their version came out September of 1967. Brighter, faster, number 2 pop, number 1 R&B for 6 weeks. Sold 2.5 million copies. Biggest selling Motown single at the time. But Whitfield kept Marvin's version in the vault. He knew Marvin's was better, darker, more real. The paranoia in Marvin's voice felt authentic because his marriage to Anna Gordy, Berry's sister, was falling apart. You could hear that pain. Then in mid-1968, a Detroit DJ got hold of Marvin's version. Started playing it anyway. The phones lit up. People wanted it. October 1968, Gordy finally released it. 7 weeks at number 1 pop. Over 4 million copies sold. Became the defining version. The one everybody remembers. Berry Gordy rejected Motown's biggest record twice. First Marvin's version. Then when Gladys proved the song worked, he still didn't want to release Marvin's. A bootlegging DJ forced his hand. And if you've ever had someone tell you your work wasn't good enough, then watched it become the biggest thing you ever did, you know how Marvin felt. Sometimes the hit is already there. You just have to stop getting in its way. Number 7, Teena Marie, the white girl who sued and won. Teena Marie walks into Motown as a 20-year-old white girl from Santa Monica who sounds black. Berry signs her, pairs her with Rick James. Wild and Peaceful drops in 1979. Motown doesn't put her picture on the cover. They want people to think she's black. I'm a Sucker for Your Love hits top 10 R&B. She becomes Soul Train's first white female guest. By 1981, 3 gold albums. Square Biz is a hit. She's produced It Must Be Magic herself at 25. She's touring with Rick James, duetting on Fire and Desire. Then Motown won't release her new music. Contract disputes. She wants creative control. Motown says no. She wants out. Motown says absolutely not. She sues them. Artists didn't sue labels and win in 1982. Labels owned you. Berry Gordy had been winning these fights for 20 years, but Teena had Epic Records waiting. Worldwide deal, her own publishing company, complete creative control. The lawsuit dragged on. She won, established legal precedent, made it harder for labels to trap artists in bad contracts. She signed with Epic late 1982. Love a Girl came out March 1985. Number 4 Billboard Hot 100, her biggest pop hit ever. The album went gold. She's headlining tours all over MTV. Berry Gordy thought Motown made Teena Marie, but she proved she made herself. She wrote her own songs, produced her own albums. Rick discovered her, but she created her own sound. Gordy tried to hold on by suing. She walked away and became bigger, opened the door for every artist who came after to fight back. Number 6, Holland-Dozier-Holland. The Hit Factory walks out. Brian Holland, Lamont Dozier, Eddie Holland, Baby Love. Stop! In the Name of Love. Heat Wave. Reach out, I'll be there. Between 1963 and 1967, they wrote and produced 28 top 20 hits. 12 hit number 1. They didn't just create the supreme sound, they created the Motown sound. Most successful songwriting team in music history. Berry Gordy promised Brian Holland stock in the company. 1967 came and went. No stock. 1968 arrived. Still nothing. Eddie Holland suggested a compromise. Let us start a subsidiary label. Produce 3 new acts. Keep it under the Motown umbrella. Berry said no. He wanted total control. January 1968, Holland-Dozier-Holland stopped showing up. Motown sued immediately. But they had a plan. Started Hot Wax Records, Invictus Records. They signed Free to Pain. Band of Gold hit number 3 in 1970. Chairman of the Board, Give Me Just a Little More Time hit number 3. The Honeycomb. Want Ads hit number 1 pop in 1971. They proved they didn't need Motown. The magic was them, not the machine. Meanwhile, the Supremes started struggling without them. Diana went solo in 1970. The Supremes never recovered. The lawsuit dragged on for years, settled in 1972. Berry Gordy lost the 3 people who built half his empire, lost them over a promise he didn't keep and control he wouldn't share. If you've ever worked somewhere that needed you more than you needed them, but still treated you like you were replaceable, you understand this story.
Like you do, I get this need.
Number 5, The Temptations. Whitfield fights for Ain't Too Proud.
'Cause you mean that much to me, ain't too proud to beg.
The Temptations. My Girl. Classic Motown, smooth ballads. By 1966, they were royalty.
If it'll keep you by my side.
Norman Whitfield wanted to try something different. He'd written Ain't Too Proud to Beg for them. Rougher sound, more funk, less polished. April 1966. Whitfield brings it to Gordy's Friday meeting. The Temptations just recorded it. David Ruffin on lead. That raw, pleading delivery.
But if I have to cry to keep you, I don't.
Gordy says no. Too rough. Doesn't fit what the Temptations should sound like. Send it back. Whitfield doesn't argue, but he doesn't quit either. Goes back. Tightens the arrangement, makes the chorus hit harder, brings it back 2 weeks later. This time it passes, not because the song changed much, because Whitfield made Gordy listen twice. May 1966, Ain't Too Proud to Beg drops. Number 13 pop, number 1 R&B, over 1 million copies sold. Became one of their signature songs. You've heard it at every cookout, every reunion, every moment when somebody needed to swallow their pride. That song taught a generation of men it's okay to admit you messed up. The song was already great when Whitfield first played it. Gordy couldn't hear it. If Norman had taken that first no as final, we'd have lost one of the greatest soul records ever made. How many other songs died in that room? How many tracks got rejected once and never came back? How many producers didn't have Norman Whitfield's confidence? Sometimes the hit is already there. You just need someone stubborn enough to make people hear it. Number 4, Mary Wells, The Cautionary Tale. Mary Wells, my guy, knocked the Beatles out of number 1 in May 1964. 21 years old, Motown's first major female star. First Motown artist to ever hit number 1 pop. She wanted a better contract. Berry signed her in 1960 when she was 17. Standard Motown deal. Low royalties. Label owned everything. By 1964, she had leverage. 4 top 10 hits. She'd earned a better deal. Gordy wouldn't renegotiate. You signed a contract. Honor it. Besides, Motown made you. The writers, the producers, the system, that's what made My Guy a hit. 20th Century Fox offered $200,000 advance, better royalties, more creative control. She left summer 1964. First single on Fox. Use Your Head peaked at number 34. Not a disaster. Not a hit either. Second single flopped. Third flopped. By 1965, Fox dropped her. She tried Atco Records. More flops. Jubilee Records. Nothing worked. By the 70s, she was playing small clubs, oldies tours. 1990, diagnosed with throat cancer. No health insurance. Couldn't afford treatment. Other Motown artists, including Diana Ross, helped raise money. Mary Wells died in 1992. 49 years old, she was right to want a better contract, right to demand fair pay, right to believe in her talent, but she left at the wrong time for the wrong label with the wrong people. Berry was wrong to let her walk. She was wrong to think she could recreate Motown's magic somewhere else. Both things can be true. If you've ever watched someone make the logical choice that still went terribly wrong, you know this story. Mary Wells should have been a legend. She ended up a cautionary tale. Number 3, Rick James, the super freak who saved Motown.
Like the boys in the band, she says that I'm a...
Motown is dying, moved to Los Angeles, classic acts are gone. Jackson 5 left for Epic. Marvin's fighting with Berry. Sales are down. Motown's becoming irrelevant.
Her head down to her toenails.
Rick James walks in with Come Get It. You and I hits #1 R&B. The album goes platinum. Rick James saves Motown at the exact moment the label desperately needed saving.
Ride with me.
But Rick sees what Berry doesn't want to see. Motown's still operating like it's 1965. Total control, low royalties, label owns everything. Rick spent time in Toronto, jammed with Neil Young. He knows this deal is garbage.
To my fire, she will never let your spirit stay.
Street Songs drops. Give It To Me, Baby. Super freak. 4 million copies worldwide. Triple platinum. Rick's the biggest thing in music. MTV's playing his videos, and Motown's paying him pennies.
Girlfriends in a limousine.
Yeah, Rick fights Berry constantly. Publishing rights, producer credits, fair payment, creative control. Gordy fights back every time. This is Motown. This is how we've always done it. Rick sees it differently. I wrote these songs. I produced these tracks. I created this sound. Why do you get 70%?
Once you get her off the street, blow, Danny.
The relationship becomes toxic. By mid-80s, they can barely be in the same room. Rick's using drugs heavily. Gordy's threatening to drop him.
Once you get her off the street, oh girl.
Rick leaves in 1988, signs with Reprise. But the damage is done. The drugs, the battles, it took its toll. But here's what matters. Rick gave Motown its last real run of hits. Street Songs in 1981 was the last time Motown felt culturally relevant.
Backstage with her girlfriends in a limousine.
Berry sold Motown to MCA in 1988 for $61 million. Rick left the same year. Rick didn't get richer like Gladys did. But he proved Motown needed him more than he needed Motown.
Very kinky girl, that kind you won't take home to my...
Number 2, Teena Marie, Revisited. The Ivory Queen's Revenge. We talked about Teena Marie at number 7, but she deserves a second look because she didn't just leave and survive. She left and thrived. 26 years old, 3 gold albums at Motown. Motown won't release her new material. Fights about control. She wants to pick her own producers, write her own songs. Motown says no. She sues. Epic's waiting with a deal. Worldwide distribution. Her own publishing company. Complete creative control. Lawsuit takes months. Motown tries to bury her. Epic doesn't care. They sign her anyway.
Hey, baby, what's your name, huh?
Robbery drops on Epic. Fix It hits number 21 R&B. Solid, 1984. Star Child, Love a Girl comes out March 1985.
Heavy y'all feeling mignon, and you can best believe that's bomb. Here's what I'm talking about.
If you were near a radio that spring, you couldn't escape it. That bass line, that hook, number 4, Billboard Hot 100. Number 9, R&B, highest charting pop hit of her career. bigger than anything at Motown. Album goes gold. She's headlining tours all over MTV, and she's doing it without Motown. Berry thought the Motown system made Teena. Artist development, producers, quality control, but Teena made herself. She wrote her own songs, produced her own albums. The talent was hers, not theirs. The lawsuit changed the industry, made it harder for labels to trap artists. Other artists started demanding better deals. Power shifted back toward talent. Teena didn't just win her freedom, she won vindication. Berry let her walk into a courtroom thinking he'd crush her. She walked out a legend. Number 1, Gladys Knight and the Pips, the midnight train that left Motown behind.
He said he's going.
He said he's going.
The Pips want to sign with Motown. They've been performing since 1952. Gladys has been singing since she was 8. They've had hits. Every Beat of My Heart in 1961. They're established. The guys vote yes.
But he sure found out the heart.
Bubba Knight, Edward Patton, William Guest. This is the big leagues. Gladys votes no. She doesn't trust it. She's watched Diana Ross get every advantage, best songs, best producers, primetime TV. She's watched other acts get second string treatment. The guys outvote her. They sign. For 7 years, Gladys watches her fears come true. They get hits. I heard it through the grapevine. If I Were Your Woman. Neither one of us. Hits number 1 in 1972. But Gladys feels it. Second string treatment.
He's come to know.
Diana Ross allegedly had them removed from a Supremes tour in 1968 because they were upstaging her. Berry told Gladys, "You're giving my act a hard time. You're too good, so we're taking you off the tour." By 1972, they've had enough. Contracts up. Buddha Records makes an offer. Better money, better royalties, better treatment, respect. They leave early 1973. Berry barely fights to keep him. They're replaceable in his mind. First single, Midnight Train to Georgia. September 1973.
So he's leaving the
Number 1 pop, number 1 R&B, 17 weeks on the charts. Over 2 million copies sold. Grammy for Best R&B Performance. Bigger than anything at Motown. The song became their signature. If someone says Gladys Knight, you think Midnight Train. Berry had them for 7 years. Buddha had them for 3 years and gave them immortality. Gladys knew her value before Berry did. She voted no in 1966 because she saw it coming. She left in 1973 because she was proven right. That midnight train didn't take her home. It took her somewhere Motown never could.